Hey, thanks for coming to play. This is 21 Questions. My name is Mike van Acker. This episode comes out Tuesday, 16th of June, which is notable in my house because the 17th of June is my birthday. Tomorrow, I shall turn 97 years old. Good-o, let's get started. Question 1. Which three words are the letters OMW an abbreviation for via a text message? That would be on my way, and in fact, on my phone at least, if you type in OMW, it will send the recipient on my way. It'll fill it out for you. Imagine the time we're all saving. Question 2. Which crumbed and fried German/Austrian dish literally translates to cutlet without bones in German? That'd be a schnitzel, the humble schnitty. Question 3. In geometry, what is a triangle in which all three sides are equal known as? Right there in the name, the equilateral triangle. Question 4 is always a true or false in this podcast. True or false? The building that is now known as Buckingham Palace was built in 1703. Is that true? Is that false? That's actually true. It was originally called Buckingham House when it was built in 1703. It was built for John Sheffield, who was the Duke of Buckingham. It was bought off him by the royals as the private residence of Queen Charlotte in 1761 and was transformed into a royal palace in the 1820s when King George IV hired architect John Nash to redesign it. It became the London residence of the British monarch on the accession of Queen Victoria in 1837, and that's how it happened. Question 5. Which South Asian country's national sport has been volleyball since 1991? This is a bit obscure, so I better give you multiple choice. Is it Taiwan? Is it Sri Lanka? Is it Thailand? It's Sri Lanka. They are silly for volleyball over there. Question 6. What kind of belt can be found between the planets Mars and Jupiter? That'd be your asteroid belt. Good-o. Question 7. Which sea creature has a body composed of 95% water and has no brain or central nervous system? Now, back in the day, they were called jellyfish, but the sea nerds have since come out and said, well, they're not technically fish, are they? So instead, they're now called sea jellies or just jellies. There you go. After question 7, we do the first clues for the Who Am I for the ep. Who am I? I am an Academy Award-winning American actor born in 1967. I got my first role playing the on-screen sister of my real-life brother Eric in a movie called Blood Red, and that was in 1989. Also in 1989, I was cast in a film about a group of women in a Louisiana hair salon. And that role earned me my first Oscar nomination and my first Golden Globe. The following year, I starred opposite Richard Gere in what became one of the most successful romantic comedies ever made, and I was instantly a massive star. I think you might know who that is already, but more clues coming up after question 14 if you need them. Question 8. Was the penny black an early form of postage stamp, bicycle, or chocolate bar? The penny black was a postage stamp. We're going back to the year 1840 for that one. Question 9, bit more recent. Which former heavyweight champion boxer has claimed he had been arrested 38 times by his 13th birthday? It'd be Mike Tyson. You have to wonder if he couldn't have just got arrested twice more to round it out to 40. Just saying. Question 10. Who was Michael Douglas's co-star in the 1987 movie Fatal Attraction? That was Glenn Close, and the expression bunny boiler, meaning a very clingy or obsessive person, comes directly from that movie Fatal Attraction. Question 11 is another true or false. True or false? As at March 2026, there are almost 3,500 billionaires in the world. That's actually true, according to the Forbes Billionaires list. You know Forbes, they publish very interesting content if you're a trivia nerd. In March of this year, they published the Forbes Billionaires list, and they reveal in that there are 3,500 428 billionaires in the world today. So that means odds are probably 10 of them listen to this show. Hello, billionaires. How are you? Hello. Send a check. Question 12. Which American city is the tower the Space Needle in? Is the Space Needle in San Francisco, Chicago, or Seattle? The Space Needle is a major landmark in Seattle in Washington. Question 13. Which legendary guitarist headlined the iconic 1969 Woodstock Festival and the 1970 Isle of Wight Festival? That would be Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix, who died at 27, is one of the founding members of the 27 Club. Also in that club, James Dean, Amy Winehouse, basically famous people that passed away at 27. Question 14. Which TV show ran from 1977 to 1983 and starred Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox? That would be Chips. Remember Chips, the two motorcycle coppers? Turns out Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox did not like each other very much. Apparently they patched it up now, but at the time they did not get along. Read something about that recently. Anyway, 4 clues now for the Who Am I? It's the actor who became an overnight star after starring opposite Richard Gere in a rom-com. Who am I? In 2000, I became the first woman in Hollywood history to be paid $20 million for a single film. Up until that point, that figure had only ever been paid to the boy stars. The role won me the Academy Award for Best Actress. The movie was Erin Brockovich. Well, that should make it quite a bit easier if you didn't know it already. Question 15. Which R is a skillful teller of anecdotes and stories? Starts with R. That's a raconteur. Question 16. With which type of football is the William Webb Ellis Cup associated? That'd be the Rah-Rah, the rugby union. Question 17. In 1984, did Billy Ocean, Billy Idol, or Billy Joel have a hit with the song Caribbean Queen, in brackets, No More Love on the Run? Caribbean Queen, big 80s hit for Billy Ocean. Question 18. Which famous crime author wrote The Mousetrap, which is known as the world's longest running play? Who wrote The Mousetrap? That's Agatha Christie. At one time that ran continuously since 1952. I think it may have recently just ended. Question 19 on this podcast is always a still alive or not so much. I give you a name and you decide if you think that person is still alive or not so much. Today, the actor Dan Aykroyd, star of the Blues Brothers and Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, Ghostbusters of course. Is Dan Aykroyd still alive or not so much? Dan Aykroyd, he's still alive. He's only 73 years old. He'll be around for ages yet. Question 20 is a music question. Which band had hits with Working in a Coal Mine and Whip It? That would be Devo of the Flower Pot Hats. Okay, final clues now for the Who Am I? Who am I? I starred opposite Hugh Grant in Notting Hill and in the ensemble movie Ocean's 11, and some would say art mirrored life in 1997's Runaway Bride. I am Julia Roberts. Time now for the player questions, where you, the listener, can submit a trivia question that I will ask for this section of the show. You can get a question to me in 2 different ways. Via Facebook, 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe is the Facebook page, or you can email me direct, mike@triviatribe.com.au. Either way, I will acknowledge your message and add your question to the list, and at some point you will hear it being asked on this particular show. Last episode, Glenn sent in, what is a court jester's outfit called? A court jester's outfit is called a motley, and I wonder if that's where the expression a motley fool comes from. This episode, Paul has sent in, which Beatles song was originally titled I Can Buy You Golden Rings, until John and Paul came up with a better idea for the song. I Can Buy You Golden Rings. I think I could probably hazard a guess, but rather than shooting my mouth off, I'll do a bit of Googling and see what I can come up with. Okay, that is 21 questions done for another episode. I would love it if you could give the show a rating on whatever podcast app you're listening to now. That really helps a little podcast like mine get rolling. Having said that, I'm very, very happy with the number of people listening. Thank you so much for your support. Did I tell you that this podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? Have I done that already? I really can't tell. But it does, and it will. And I'd love it if you met me back here in a couple of days' time, and we'll do the whole thing again. But I promise, different questions. My name is Mike van Acker. I love you. Catch you next time.